Some people say I'm legally insane. Other people think that I'm crazy. But you know what? They're both right. I am legally insane and I am crazy. Why else would I be spending all of my money collecting retro games trying to get to over 9,000 games? That is my life goal, and that is what I've been doing for many years now, countless years really. I started collecting before I even knew I was collecting. I was already collecting for the NES before I even knew what collecting was. I didn't even know it at the time. And today we're going to be going through two games that I picked up for every single NES console. This is an all Nintendo exclusive edition of my recent game pickups. We're going to go through every console, not including the handhelds, in order, starting with the NES. Two of my recent pickups, I got Mega Man 3. Mega Man 3, and believe it or not, I know it's going to sound shocking, I don't own any Mega Man NES games. For some weird reason, I kind of ignored them. I love Mega Man. I grew up playing Mega Man. But maybe it's because I never really played past maybe Mega Man 3. Beyond Mega Man 3, I didn't even know there was any other Mega Man games when I was younger. So that's why I got Mega Man 3, and it's a little bit on the cheaper range versus some of the other Mega Man games, like your Mega Man 5 and 6, which will cost you a lot of dough. So next game, California Games. Now some of you, if you're familiar with this game, you might be saying, why did you get California Games? What's so special about California Games? It's not expensive. It's very cheap. I think I paid $8 Canadian. And that was like not even a deal. Well, what makes this game so special is this game was a monster hit back in the day. Everyone and their mother had this game. You saw this game in every Blockbuster, every Rogers Video, on every street corner. It wasn't necessarily all that great, but it was very unique for what it was. It has some really unique games in here, like Hacky Sack. And for that reason, this is on the list. It's an awesome game. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. I don't think it's a bad game. So now we're on to the Super Nintendo. Starting off big time, big monster hit, Firepower 3000. Firepower 3000. I don't know why this game isn't worth way more than it is. Oh, sorry, Firepower 2000. Got that wrong. This is a Sunsoft game. I previously never knew about it until maybe the last couple of years. So I don't think it's sold very well. It is a really good game. It's a shoot 'em up. Maybe that contributes to it getting the value that it does not deserve, because it deserves a much higher value. Sunsoft made some monster hits back in the day, and this was no exception. This is a great game. It's simultaneous co-op. And one character is the plane and one character is the tank. That's about all I know about that game. This is my first time owning it. So I'm really looking forward to playing that finally. And I don't think it's too difficult either. It is a shoot 'em up style game, but I don't think it's one of those overly difficult shoot 'em ups. Next game is Rival Turf. And yes, this is definitely not one of the best beat 'em ups on the console, and it will never make any top 10 or top 20 beat 'em up list. It's a bit of a primitive beat 'em up, but you know what? It's a beat 'em up, and I'm looking to collect as many beat 'em ups as I can. Really, my ultimate goal would be to own every beat 'em up ever made, starting with the Super Nintendo, which had the best beat 'em ups of all time. So that's why I got Rival Turf, and it's fairly cheap too. So if you are interested, I'm sure you can find it at a local pawn shop or local retro game shop, online somewhere for cheap. So what came after the Super Nintendo? The N64. I got Rayman 2. The Great Escape. The reason I got this is because Rayman was very popular back in the day. When Rayman number 1 came out for the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Saturn, it was a big hit. The graphics were considered to be of a next generation for a side-scrolling platformer. It was very colorful. You couldn't get that many colors on the previous 16-bit console generation. So you couldn't produce something like Rayman back then. And that's why I think it got extra popularity. But it really kicked off the franchise. And I've never played Rayman 2. And I've always wanted to play it. And so I finally have it. You know, unfortunately, when you're growing up as a kid and you don't have any money, you have to wait until you're a legally insane adult with excess money to spend to be able to get the games that you wanted. That's what I had to do. You know how many years I waited for this? 25 years? I don't know. Maybe. Close to it. Anywhere between 20 and 25 years. That's how long I've been waiting to play that game. Next N64 game is Buck Bumble. And I know what you're thinking. What the hell is this? Buck Bumble? That's what I thought too. The second I saw this game inside a Rogers Video game rental store. I looked at Buck Bumble and I said, what the hell is that? Who in their right mind would pay money to rent or buy Buck Bumble, where you're a bumblebee? And I sure as heck wasn't going to do it. But I had a friend that would come with me to the Rogers Video store every weekend. I think we would either go on Fridays or Saturdays. I don't remember. But it was probably Saturdays, to be honest. And I would rent all the good games, and I would convince him to spend his money on all the bad games that I wanted to try but would never take a risk. I'm not going to risk my $5 on Buck Bumble. It's very rare that I get to rent a game. So I'm going to rent it on a good game, like an RPG, Final Fantasy. And I convinced him to rent Buck Bumble. Unfortunately, though, because he was the one that rented it, I never got to play it much. I didn't really think anything of it at the time, but looking back on it and re-looking up the game and watching videos on the game today, I say, hey, you know what? It's a bit of a hidden gem. It's really not that bad. It's very unique. It's a very unique concept. And the price is going up too, by the way. Who knows? Maybe that's the next $100 game. So if you're interested, check it out. Prices are only going up, and N64 ain't no joke.
Along came Buck Bumble and wiped the spider out.
Say hello to Buck Bumble. He's Mother Nature's twisted little cyborg soldier in a rumble to the death with the evil insect empire.
Yeah, so don't bug me.
Buck Bumble.
Okay, next console, GameCube. Naruto. Clash of the Ninja 2. And there's a big reason I got this. Two big reasons. One, I love Naruto. Well, three big reasons. Number three, this is 4-player. That's 4-player. Simultaneous 4-player. Okay? Free-for-all battles. 2v2 battles. Free-for-all. Third reason I got this is because I've played some of the newer Naruto games for PC. I played one that came out in maybe, I don't know, 2015, 2016, 2017. And the button combinations are very difficult. So my theory is that the button combinations are going to be much simpler in this version. It looked like much simpler. This is a very primitive Naruto fighting game. With 4-player co-op, you can't go wrong. And it is very primitive. I've seen the gameplay. I know it's primitive. I've never played it before. But I know it looked a heck of a lot simpler. And it looks fun as hell. And some of you might be saying, well, that game sucks compared to the new Naruto games. Why would you buy that? That game sucks. Well, guys, like, even if it does suck, bad games can still be good and still be fun to play. I'll still buy it. I don't care if it sucks. But I know it doesn't suck. They wouldn't have continued making those Naruto games if it did suck. Top Angler. I got this only because it's a rare fishing game for the GameCube, and it is holding some very strong value, and it may continue to go up. I have no idea if it's good or not, and if you want the brutal, honest truth, I might not ever play it. It's only single player, but I don't care. I want it, and now I have it. Now we're on to the Nintendo Wii. I got myself Ben 10 2 because I love Ben 10. That's simple, and it's cheap. And it's 2-player. You don't believe me? You don't believe me that it's 2-player? What's that? What's that say right there? It says 2-player. Ben 10 Omniverse number 2. This is also on the Wii U, by the way, and the Wii U version is significantly more expensive. And I do want it on the Wii U as well. I just haven't been able to get the funds, and I haven't found a cheap copy yet. Spyborgs. This is a Capcom game. This ain't no joke. Why did I get this? Especially considering that this is my 4th copy. Why did I buy Spyborgs? Why do I have 4 copies? If that's what you're asking yourself, that's a great question. It's because this is a hidden gem, and I think it'll go up in value. And I was running an experiment at one point where I was going to purchase 10 copies, just to see if that would be enough to increase the price, and just to see what would happen. I was very curious. I've seen experiments done like this before, and the price of the game skyrocketed. That individual ended up buying 25 copies. It was a Rampart for your Game Boy. And to this day, it's not a cheap game. It never went down in price. It continued to climb. And I was going to run an experiment with this because it was a fairly cheap game. Still is. You can still get it for cheap. And I know that it's a hidden gem and it's a Capcom game. And it's 2-player co-op. So it's a bit of an action, I don't know what you would call this, to be honest. Action, beat-em-up style game, for lack of better wording. Final console. Oh no, there's 2 consoles left. The Wii U came after the Wii. I got Lego Movie because I've always wanted this for a very, very long time. Because Lego Movie is one of the best movies ever made. I saw this movie in theater. It blew my expectations out of the water. 100-fold. And it was hilarious and has great music. Love Lego Movie. Lego Movie. I don't even care if the game sucks. It's Lego Movie. So I've always wanted it. And I want the second one too. And I don't have it yet. Ben 10 Omniverse number 1. This is not number 2. This one's still cheap. And I got this because, like I said, I love Ben 10. And also I'm going for a Wii U full set. I should mention that too. So what came after the Wii U? The Nintendo Switch. I picked up Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2 Deluxe. Now, I do wish that this was 2-player. That's the biggest flaw to this game. It's quite sad. I've never played it. I have it on PC. I downloaded it because, when they have those Steam sales, you can get it for like $1, or I got it in one of those bundles. I probably paid $1 for it. Never bothered to play it because I hate playing games on PC. I'm a console gamer. But at the time, you could only get it on PC. Last game. This is a very unique game. Chaos Head Noah, and Chaos Child. This is 2 games in 1. And this is the Steelbook Launch Edition. That's why I got it. I've never played this game, or I know nothing about this series of games. It appears to be 2 games in 1, if I'm not mistaken. There are 2 cases inside, at least. One is a steel case, the other is a standard case. I haven't opened it. It's sealed. The reason I got this, though, literally for one reason. It says Spike Chunsoft. I started buying up any game that Spike Chunsoft makes. They make very interesting visual novel style games, and I've gotten really big on the visual novel style games. I'm currently playing through AI Somnium Files, the Nirvana Initiative. It's not as good as 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, storyline-wise, but it's still pretty good. And I know that they make a lot of other games, so I'm just picking up anything that they make. And this was the pre-order day 1 edition. So I figured, okay, well, at some point they're going to sell out of the Steelbook edition, so I might as well get it now before they legitimately sell out. That's it, guys. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I am trying to get to over 9,000 subscribers. That is my goal, and I can't get there without subscribers. Will 9,000 subscribers help me to become legally sane? No. But it will help me achieve my goal of getting and owning over 9,000 video games.